course, I'm T.im.T, and today, oh yeah, my mom gave me a haircut. What's wrong with that? I know that, and I can definitely tell I'm gonna need a brand new webcam, well, basically put that's I'm gonna explain that in the news and updates video. With that said, this is another episode of my segment called T.im.T, otherwise known as This Is My Thoughts. Now keep in mind, this is gonna be a little short video, but not too much. It's gonna be sort of long. But first of all, you may be asking, what am I talking about? Well, not about this certain thing I'm going to talk about. However, I'm going to talk about a game that was released on that certain system that I finally got my hands on. Wait, you don't know what? Of course, because yeah. So anyway, look what I got. After some moment of saving money, yes, I saved money to get this thing, I finally got a Nintendo Switch. That's right. This thing is incredible. So, what are we going to talk about in this episode? Well, if you probably haven't seen the title already, I'm going to talk about a certain game that was released on this system. You can't probably see it, but today we're going to talk about 2 seconds. I hope it doesn't freaking that's good. Now, what was I? Oh yeah, if you haven't seen the title, we're going to talk about a game known as Wonderboy, the Dragon's Trap. So, what do I think of this game? Just 2 seconds, I need to. Amazing! Why? You may ask. Well, simply put, wow, Wonderboy, the Dragon's Trap is just amazing. If you don't know, and if you probably don't know, because you didn't know, you haven't heard of it, but fun fact, I actually grew up playing the original on an emulator. Yeah, I grew up playing I grew up playing Wonderboy 3, the Dragon's Trap for the Master System on an emulator, and I enjoyed it. I had so much fun playing it. I remember I played it, my mom played it, my brothers played it. Basically, we had a blast playing the game. We even played the ROM hack where you played where the character swapped to Sonic. That was even incredible. So, is this a awesome remake? Is it a remake that truly replaces the original? In my opinion, yes. This is the true definition version of Wonderboy you should definitely play. Of course, it's not just on the Nintendo Switch. If I am not mistaken, it was also on the PlayStation 4, which I don't have. My brother has it, but my I shouldn't even go and ask for his PlayStation 4 when you get the points. Just to look. Let's see, now available for Nintendo, for Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Okay, it was released for different, more than just the Switch. And this was one of those games I was excited about because I once watched a video about upcoming Nintendo Switch games, and when Wonderboy, the Dragon's Trap, appeared in that list, it blew my mind. As I stated, I enjoyed Wonderboy 3 a lot, playing with my mother. Once I found out about this, I was so surprised that I went out of my room and told my mom that, hey, guess what? The game we once played on the Master System, you know, the emulator Master System thing, Wonderboy 3, it was coming out for the Switch. And I remember being more excited for this game than The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, because, well, this was a nostalgic piece of game for me. So, again, like I said, this, in my opinion, is the true definition version you should play. Why? Well, first of all, the graphics. Oh boy, it's beautiful. It's, in my opinion, much better than the original. If you want to know why, well, for one thing, it's all animated. It's drawn. It was drawn. They drew everything for the game. They didn't, just use a computer. Of course, they used the computer to animate the things inside the game to make it look like it run and something like that. But wow, it was fantastic. I loved. I knew every kind of place there was in the game. Like, for example, I knew the desert. I remembered the canyon and its lava. I remembered every boss in the game, and I also remember, strangely, all the enemies. I remember almost everything of this game. That's how nostalgic it is to me. So, what about the music? Brilliant. It's amazing. So far, if you want to know, my favorite music track for this game is the old castle, the desert, and the do, as in the final castle, as in the castle and the castle music, or in this case the dungeon music, you can just say. Those three are my favorite sound music cues from that game. My favorite is in this case is the freaking desert, because it's freaking amazing. Also, I also got the animation on the characters alike. They're also great. Like, now the lion looks cool. Before I thought it looked stupid, but now it looks actually cool. And some of the enemies got also updated. For example, let me see. The crabs, all the enemies, just wow, they look amazing. The best thing I like to say though is that the boss battles, oh god, they're amazing. But I'm going to talk about that later, about the battles themselves when I come to the gameplay. But all I can say so far is that the layouts of these places looks much better, because before it was just, well, black background and two metal things around, and then the boss, and then you can see the health bar and such. That's it. However, here there is still a health bar, except this time it's not just numbers you see. You actually see a red bar up there along with the numbers. And also, the bosses look freaking amazing now. I remember all the bosses. There's the Mega Dragon, the freaking Mommy Dragon, the Dragon Zombie, the Captain Dragon, the freaking Do You Must Something Dragon, and finally the Vampire Dragon. They look cool now. Well, I thought the Vampire Dragon looked a little weird due to that face in the stomach. That's weird, but that's actually something creative. Despite it kind of for some reason reminds me of freaking T.im.T from Tekken 5, which is a god. It's that basically. I will talk about that guy when I make a top 10 hardest bosses in fighting games, because yes, I know someone did that already, and they already have explained that the hardest boss is from Arcana Heart, but I have not played that game, so I can't not put it on the list. So so what is let me see what's next. Oh yeah, the gameplay is still good as I can remember, with some new minor tweaks, which in my opinion is kind of big improvements. For example, the chime stones, as they call, I think. Now, because in the original game you had to hunt down 99 of these things, well, here you have to only hunt down, well, 6 of them, and you only need 4 to get that special item. So, improvement. Also, the other improvement that I think was freaking good was the sword. Now, if you don't know, in the game you had to get a sword. In the original, you had to get a sword in order to destroy certain blocks. And in that game, you had to keep switching the weapon over and over. Well, here they did something smart. Instead of a sword, it's a thunder ring, as it's called, and that ring allows you to basically use that ability with every sword, so you don't have to keep swapping swords every time you have to get to a certain area. Except the magic sword, because that makes blocks, it doesn't destroy blocks. So that's the only one that is not an effect on the thunder ring. But here is something I think is a big improvement. What is that? Well, first, oh wait, I forgot. We also have to talk about the settings. One thing, it now has a save feature. Thank God, because before we had to write down passwords, which was really annoying. Sure, you can still write passwords down if you want, but who wants to do that? Because now there's a save feature, and it's so simple. You just have to go over to the place where you save. Just go in, and boom, you're saved. The game is saved. Boom. Massive improvement. You can also choose which difficulty you are in. Right now, I have beaten the game on easy mode, and now I'm trying to beat it on hard mode. And now they actually add a special feature, in my opinion, which is a timer. If you don't know, well, basically, this, in my opinion, I think this is something that is inspired by Wonderboy in Monsterland. Because if you didn't know, in that game, you had a timer, and whenever that timer went down, you would lose some health. So here, it's basically like that. Except that it actually makes the chance a little bit. But don't worry, it doesn't work on the village or whenever you're in a special room, or inside some certain places. No, no, no. It only works when you're at places where there are enemies and where the boss is. And alright, speaking of the bosses, here's something I think is the most biggest improvement. The hitbox. What, you mean the enemy hitboxes? You mean that the enemies barely damage you? No, no, no. I don't mean that. I mean because if you don't know, whenever we played wonderboy on the Master System, there was only one annoying thing that always annoyed us, and that was the bosses. Because whenever we tried to hit their weak point, we apparently miss most of the time, and we sometimes barely hit it. As in, for example, oh, I jumped. Oh, wait, I just hit on the boss instead. And no, oh shit, I almost got it. Wait, oh shit, because there you had to be specific where you hit it. But here, oh boy, now you can actually hit it without taking too much damage. Although I would say that it kinda makes the bosses a little more easy. Well, if you're in hard mode and normal, it'll probably be a little harder, but some bosses are just cakewalks now. For example, the dragon zombie. Wow, that was fucking pathetic. You know why? Well, simply put, if you don't know, oh yeah, by the way, it actually displays some kind of background for each monster, what place they're in. For example, remember before when the dragon zombie, you didn't know what the hell it was doing because it was just down in certain place and then you had to wait to get up. Well, now you know that it actually swims around in something green stuff-ish. And also, yeah, the designs of the monsters were great. I mean, the dragon zombie, Jesus Christ, it looks fucking... Now it looks like more like a zombie. Instead of whatever hell it looked like before. Anyway, I was just saying with that dragon boss, basically it swings around, then it goes up, but here in the original, we kind of have a hard time hitting on it because sometimes it just activates its attack very fast. Well, here it gets up, and then you can immediately hit it, and then it goes down it again, swims around, then it goes up again, then you just hit it. And if you do that all the time, it will never attack you. Ever. It will never even make its vomit attack, as I would call it. Sorry for those who have metaphobia, but that's how it is. I would say that the Captain Dragon was still annoying, but it wasn't like the original, because the original, I had a hard time beating that boss. How hard of a hard time? Well, simply put, I got a lot of game overs on that boss. I mean, of course we got a lot of game overs on the final boss, as well as the final boss, but with the exception of one boss in the original, we beat them on the okay. Besides two bosses in the original, we beat them on my first. I beat them on my first try in the remake. You can just go around and say, well, maybe you played it on easy mode after all when you first played it, duh. Well, of course, because I had to develop to the new animation and besides, it was also kind of a challenge for me because it was a long time since I played it. So my mom kind of helped me because she knew some of those places where you need certain things. Yeah. Just remember being it and having fun. And that's what games are here for. They're games. Games are made to have you guys have some fun. And also some of okay, let's go to that charm stones a little quick. But before I go to that, Exo Paradigm Gamer, if you're listening to, if you're watching this video, please, I would be happy if you made R&R on this game, as in a remake or re-break episode on this game, because that would be awesome. I love this game. Well, not as much as Sonic Adventure 2. That still is my favorite video game of all time. But if it comes to one of my favorites remakes of a nostalgic game, then I'll say this is one of them. So that was my thoughts on Wonderboy Dragon's Trap. So what do I think of this game? Well, I give it a yeah, because I really enjoyed this game and I had fun and a lot of nostalgia about this game and enjoyed the remake so much. I'll give this remake, if I was like some Paradigm Gamer, I would probably say I would definitely say replace, but I'm not Exo Paradigm Gamer, so I'm just gonna go with the traditional, well, 10 out of 10. So, in my opinion, just improves so much that it makes the original version, well, look. Oh yeah, by the way, you can also change gender, which also is a good concept. But that was that video. Now, just the updates here. I will one day see if I can get some more Nintendo Switch games to this thing, because the only one I bought was Wonderboy 3 Wonderboy Dragon's Return, because I could not afford another game. I couldn't afford a game for the system to get, well, you know. But that doesn't. But anyway, when I find something way to record games for this thing and get more games, I would probably make a let's play of Wonderboy Dragon's Trap. Unless I can find a way to get it on Steam. Let me see if it's on Steam. If it's not, put it in the comments, or else I'd probably be stupid. Or oh, it is on Steam. Yeah, you know what? I should buy it, and then boom, you guys get to see me play. Wait, does it have the? Does you have? Oh, I hope people have the ability to use the. Let's see. Full controller support! Yay! Wait, what controller support? What control? I don't know what control is. And there's a lot who recommend it and not recommend, but I will recommend this game a lot because it's that nostalgic to me. So the other update is that, well, I'm going to get the last part of my top 25 favorite Transformers characters, and I have a list for what that's gonna be on the list. So far I already have the 3 characters on there, but now I also have to get the others in, and you might be surprised what one of my 50 of the last characters is my favorite, are my favorite Transformers characters. With that said, I think that's it. And also, what? Whoa, my hands kind of look creepy when I have like. Wait. Why the hell does they look so flat? I don't know, but that was the news. And also, what else should I say? Well, I don't know. Maybe that the next month I'm also gonna try to get a new. Oh yeah, I also got that. Well, as you can see, my webcam footage isn't great because you're gonna see that in my top 25 transport categories because they are recorded via this thing because the first thing is that if you shout, then it would freaking blur then we just crank up the mic so it sounds awful. So I'm gonna get a new webcam that has and get a mic for the the segments where I'm going to talk about you know what I mean, when I'm good to the countdown, so sorry about that. And I'm also see if I can get a camera so I can, well, basically if I can get a way to do it, make some funny, well, how do I put this, oh yeah, some funny sketches on YouTube, because sketches are funny. And also, I'm also gonna see if I can make finally make an arcade versus home console on the Triforce Empire channel, which is the collide channel between me and the Super One, which I haven't talked to in a while. I don't know why, because of course he is busy with other things. And if you're watching Zeus, I hope we can have one day talk about the good old times, because as we know, oh yeah, 2 seconds, maybe I could put something in for you that's kind of interesting, because if you know, by the way, warning, this video is not sponsored by the person who made this, but I have an account on Amino, I think it's called Amino, but anyway, I've joined the Sonic Amino and others. I also made my own Amino, which is a fan fiction, Sonic fan fiction one, where we're looking at fan fictions, which I showed my best friend. If you want to, well, join me there as well. I'm also gonna promote another one because, well, I think that one deserves it. So, do you remember when I said, when you saw my 2 seconds? Sorry, I just had to sneeze. Remember when I stated that I like a series called Clindoa? Well, guess what? It also has got a amino thing in there. And, well, sadly there's only 2 members, me and another person. And I really want to see this place get that, see more members there. So if you are one person who wants to know more about Klonoa, as well as want to try their games out, then of course I highly recommend going to the PlayStation Store on your PlayStation 4 if you have one, or get an emulator to play, because don't buy a physical copy of this game. It's not worth it. You know why? It's too expensive. Because it's, well, as we know, it's a series that's not that known. So, I'll recommend it. So, with that said, yes, finally, with that said, I'm Andre Terminator, and I will see you next time. See ya.